Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15?
Yes.
What are they going to rule it? He caught it? Touchdown! He did what?
In the end zone, it is caught for the win! Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. Total disbelief at Ford Field.
Rushes on, has time. Looking, throws, middle, got us there! Breaking free to the 50. He may go all the way to the 20 down the right side. And there's Randall Cobb to the 5, to the end zone, to the touchdown. Oh my goodness!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green and Golden Boys podcast, the Packers podcast for fans living inside enemy territory. I am Marcus and with me is Charles, and today we are previewing the Packers and Detroit Lions at Ford Field this Sunday. The Packers go in 9-3 and the Detroit Lions struggling at 5-7. This is obviously a divisional matchup and anything could happen. Especially with a healthy Matt Stafford, who always plays pretty well against the Packers, and we always tend to let up a little bit defensively against him, it seems. But Charles, what do you like about this game?
All right. Well, I'm actually really liking the way that the Packers are matching up against the Lions. The biggest weakness, obviously, defensively for the Packers is this is their run defense, and between Adrian Peterson and DeAndre Swift, neither one of them has really proven themselves to be a huge, rushing threat. I think Swift has one 100-plus yard rushing day. Adrian Peterson has not yet. Between the two of them, I'm sure they have, a couple games where they were able to string together 100 yards. But again, they just haven't been the big force that we've gone against with other teams. Now, I'm going to make the same point that I probably made, or I know I made, with Montgomery in the Chicago Bears game. I don't want to make this be Adrian Peterson's debut game for the Lions, right? Or DeAndre Swift. So as long as we can, be average at run defense, like we can be, and keep that under control, then we're going to force the Lions to do what they always need. What they always end up doing is and that's relying on Matt Stafford to be the hero. And we've matched up pretty well. I mean, we have two, fantastic cornerbacks. Obviously, Jair is probably the lead premier cornerback in the league right now. And wide receivers aren't really isn't really our weak spot, right? We're shutting that down. We're not giving up the huge chunk plays that we used to several years ago. Mike Pettin has been, taking the approach of keep everything in front of us, slow them down and not let those huge explosive plays, get behind us, which we've been successful at so far this year. My biggest concern, I guess defensively, is how we handle T.J. Hockenson. Historically, we don't do the best against, great, big, athletic tight ends. And with Raven Green being out probably for the rest of the season, that's just one more, key player in the middle of the field there in the linebacking core to give Hockenson some more space. So that's the one kind of question mark I have. But I believe, I have enough faith in Mike Pettin and this defense that they know, especially if our offense is doing what they're supposed to be doing and scoring on this, not as experienced defense. They won't be able to run the ball, down our throats like we've seen in games past. And as long as we're clicking offensively, I think that's going to make Stafford try and win the game himself. And when he tries to win the game himself, he ends up throwing a lot of interceptions and doing Matt Stafford type things. Also, he is a quarterback that likes to run around and again, kind of like that Brett Favre style, player. So he has thrown nine interceptions this year, and he's also been sacked 33 times, right? We're coming off of a game where we had 4 sacks in the first half against the Eagles, and I think it was a total of 9 sacks total against the Eagles. I would like to see, our corners, like I said, shut down those wide receivers, and then, of course, the usual suspects with Gary, Zadarius, and Preston Smith get after Matthew Stafford. So before I move over to the offensive side of the ball, I do want to give my player to watch, X factor, or someone I think that needs to step up to have a big game for the Packers to have success against the Lions. And I already referenced Raven Green out likely for the season, which leaves another, like I said, opportunity for Kamal Martin to have another big game. I think we've all kind of heard his name a lot throughout these games. I think we're all kind of excited to see what kind of player he can turn into. But with Raven Green being out, he's going to be, a premier, linebacker in the middle of the field there. And again, I'm just mostly concerned about their tight end, T.J. Hockenson, picking up 7, 8, 10 yards, doing, out routes, right there in the middle of the field. So Kamal Martin, you're my, player to watch, X factor, whatever else we want to call it, this week against the Lions.
All right, Kamal Martin, I like it. I'm going to go with our entire special teams group, and in particular, the punt team. We saw, 2 punts returned for touchdowns in our last 3 games, and I think our special teams is playing like our weak link right now. J.K. Scott hasn't been, kicking the ball great. I think he's been struggling a little bit. I'd love to see him, get kind of closer to that 50 yards of punt mark instead of averaging like 44 or whatever it is he's got going right now. Maybe also learn how to tackle or push a guy out of bounds. But yeah, other than that, I think we're going to need to tighten up our special teams, especially punt coverage, because we can't start letting these guys, these teams, these bad teams get back into the game because of poor special teams play.
Now on the offensive side of the ball, we're just going to repeat everything we've said, in every game going up to this, right? Obviously, Devontae Adams, arguably one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. Aaron Rodgers is playing at an all-time high. We love seeing Lazard getting back into the flow of things. I don't think offensively we're going to have too much of a problem. I love the fact that we are playing in a dome, right? I like that we got the home game out of the way. We're not playing outside in this cold, and I think Aaron Rodgers should be able to pick this defense apart. The thing I'm most excited about and the X factor of the game, my choice. Sorry, Marcus, if you're going to take this. We're going to take this, but Tavon Austin, of course, right? We probably both want to say it, both probably should say it, but I'm excited to see how he fits into this offense. Finally getting a full week of practice with this team. I do believe he's eligible to play on Sunday's game, and I think it'll just be really fun to see Tavon, even if it's just in a diversion role offensively, doing a lot of movement or something like that. And then hopefully get his crack at, returning some punts, especially since Tyler Ervin is on and off the injury report, seemingly every other day. So that's my big X factor of this week's game. It's kind of time for the prediction segment. Now the Packers are favored by 7.5 points, so over a touchdown. The over/under is 55.5 points. And I kind of like that line. I think that's a really good, obviously Vegas makes a lot of money doing what they do, especially considering that the Packers are averaging 31.5 points per game scoring, and they're surrendering on average 25 points a game. Do that math, that's pretty darn close to 55.5. That's 56, I believe. And I just don't have faith that our defense is going to completely shut down Detroit. So I'm going to give them. I'm going to assume they're going to hit their average. Their average points there. 25, maybe even 26 points. So on the flip side, I think Aaron is capable of putting up more points than our average against this defense. But I'm going to go Packers 32, Lions 26. Of course, that is below the 7.5 point spread. So I do not pick the Packers covering because remember, this is a away divisional game, regardless of records. And I think it's always going to be a little bit closer than what we would like to see.
All right, mine's not too far off. I'm going to take the Packers 38, Detroit Lions 24. So the Packers are going to cover the 7.5 points, and they're also going to get over that 55.5 total point margin. So, to your point, it is a divisional game on the road, but I think this matchup bodes well for the Packers. I think we have this game, well in hand in the fourth quarter, maybe with the Lions driving to try to put up some points at the end of the game, garbage time. But I think the Packers win this one soundly. And with that said, everybody, we appreciate you joining us today, listening to our podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And Chuck, as always, go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.